If you've ever loved someone who now says they can't be in a relationship, you know the kind of heartbreak that doesn't just break, it lingers. It's the kind of pain that greets you first thing in the morning and sits with you quietly at night. It's waking up with an ache in your chest, hoping that maybe today will hurt a little less than yesterday. It's not just the loss of a person, it's the loss of the future you imagined. You had already started building a life in your mind, painting the walls with shared dreams and furnishing every room with plans and promises. And now you're left holding blueprints for a house that will never be built. You find yourself trapped in the loop of what-ifs. What if you had been more patient, more understanding? What if you had held back your feelings, played it cooler, been less vulnerable? What if you could somehow go back and fix the pieces of you that you think pushed them away? This kind of heartbreak has a way of turning you against yourself. You start to see your own reflection through the lens of their rejection. You wonder if you were too much or not enough, too needy, too emotional, too open. You start questioning your worth, not realizing that their inability to love you isn't a measure of your value. When someone says they can't be with you, the reasons often sound so reasonable. They tell you about the chaos in their life, the wounds they still carry, the timing that just isn't right, and because you love them, you want to understand. You want to give them the space they need. You convince yourself that if you are patient, if you prove your loyalty, they will see what you see, a love worth fighting for. But there is a painful truth beneath the layers of gentle excuses. If they wanted to, they would. When someone truly wants to be with you, obstacles become details to navigate together, not walls that keep you apart. Real love doesn't look for the perfect moment, it creates one. It steps forward even when the path is unclear. Yet, in the fog of hope, it's so easy to wait, to pause your own story, holding your breath for them to be ready. You start living in a world of someday, tucking your needs and desires away, thinking that if you wait long enough, they'll realize your worth. You become a supporting character in your own life, always there, always available, just in case they finally choose you. The waiting isn't just passive, it's painful. You're not just waiting for them to show up, you're waiting for the ache to fade, for the confusion to settle. You put your own happiness on hold, trading the joy of the present for the uncertain promise of the future. And slowly, almost imperceptibly, you lose pieces of yourself to the waiting. When someone is not ready to love you, you can find yourself twisting into versions of yourself that don't quite fit. You become the quiet one when you used to be bold. You dim your light, afraid that shining too brightly will push them further away. You try to be what you think they need, molding yourself into shapes that leave you feeling hollow. You deserve more than that. You deserve a love that meets you where you are, whole, imperfect, and real. You deserve someone who makes you feel like home, not like a temporary stop along their journey. You deserve a love that is steady and sure, not a love that keeps you guessing. There's a pivotal question to ask yourself when you're caught in this painful space. If I were them, and I loved me the way they say they love me, what would I be doing to make it work? It's a question that can bring clarity, even if the answer is hard to hear. Because real love doesn't just speak, it acts. It doesn't leave you hanging on to words while actions paint a different story. Love is not just a noun, it's a verb. It's what someone does, not just what they say. It's showing up, choosing you, making room in their life for you. It's weaving your lives together with intention and care. And if they are not weaving with you, then your own thread is not enough to hold the relationship together. Walking away from someone who isn't ready isn't a sign of failure. It's a sign of strength. It's choosing to unshackle yourself from the hope that someone else will decide when your life moves forward. It's reclaiming your time, your energy, your heart. It's choosing to step out of the waiting room and into the world where real love and real possibilities exist. Healing from this kind of heartbreak isn't about erasing the love you felt. It's about accepting that sometimes the most loving thing you can do for yourself is to let go. It's about learning to sit with the sadness, to honor the grief, and then slowly to rebuild. It's okay to mourn the future you thought you'd have. It's okay to cry for the love you wanted so deeply. But then you rise, You take all the love you were willing to give them, and you pour it back into yourself. You surround yourself with people who choose you, with experiences that light you up, with a life that feels full, whether or not someone else is standing beside you. When you finally let go of what wasn't meant for you, you create space for what is. You open the door for someone who is not only ready, but also eager to walk through it. Someone who won't make you wait for their love, but will give it to you freely and fully. Someone who will make you feel like you are exactly where you're meant to be. Not almost, not someday, but right now. And when that love comes, you'll realize that letting go of someone who couldn't choose you was not just an act of self-preservation. It was an act of self-love. You'll see that real love doesn't make you question your worth. It makes you feel valued, seen, and safe. It meets you with open arms, not closed doors. So if you find yourself standing in the shadow of someone else's indecision, remember, you are worthy of love that is sure, love that is ready, love that doesn't ask you to wait in the wings of your own story. Step into the light. Choose yourself first, and trust that the love meant for you is already on its way.